Hey guys, Monster here. I thought I'd bring you a pretty cool video real quick. Actually quick, I don't know how long this video is going to be. It's mainly just going to be a little bit of talking because I haven't seen too many videos in the knife, gun, or EDC community on an individual's journey with knives, I guess that's what we're going to call it. What I mean by that is like my very first pocket knife to where I am today. And unfortunately, I don't have my very first pocket knife. It just kind of got lost to time. I do have my second, and I rebought my third. So I thought that would be kind of cool to talk about in this video. It started out when I was in middle school, early middle school. I was over at a buddy's house, and he had two Buck 110s, and he had one that was fairly decent condition, and then he had another one that was pretty beat up. Didn't have a tip on it. Was kind of dull, rusted. Action was really stiff on it. And I said, oh, these are really cool. And he's like, well, you can have this one. And I thought that was really cool that I got a free knife. And it was my first pocket knife. And I was in middle school at the time. Now, I obviously didn't carry the knife at school. But it came with the old style leather sheath. And I wore it on my belt every chance I got. And I felt like such a badass. You know, being as young as I was, I thought I was a real badass with that thing. I used it for everything. And then at one point, my grandfather took me to a gun shop, and we were there. He actually picked up a Ruger Red Hawk 44 Magnum. It was pretty cool, and there was a display table in the middle of the shop. It was a fairly small shop, and on it, there were pocket knives. It said $3 a piece, and I thought that was the coolest thing, because at the time, I really didn't know much about quality or anything like that. So to me, $3, I was like, holy crap. That's cheap. This guy, you know, this gun shop owner, he's really missing out giving... He's losing money giving knives away for $3. He's pretty much giving them away. And I bought it, and I carried it for a little bit. I didn't carry it for too long, and that knife is this... Oh my god, this thing is a pain to open. A Frost Cutlery. Yes. A Frost Cutlery. China. No model. I don't have the box. Plastic handles, lock back. There's no pocket clip. I would just carry this in my back pocket. And, I mean, I could break this knife if I really wanted to. There's beyond substantial... Can hear it. Beyond... maybe you can't. Beyond substantial blade play. Half serrated. I mean, it's actually not that dull. The tip, as you can see, that winner of a tip there. I use this for a lot of things, and then I eventually just kind of stopped using it, and it just kind of got thrown in a box somewhere and left there because I had went to... And there's really honestly not much to say about it. It's just a really cheap pocket knife. It's $3, but I eventually went to Home Depot a year or two later, not even, maybe a couple months later. I don't remember. This was a while ago with my grandfather. And at the time, we were working in a restaurant together. He owned the restaurant, and I was working for him. And I needed a better knife. I needed something that was going to hold up a little bit better. So we went to Home Depot to get some supplies for something. And they had these square end cap displays that were just these almost like metal cages. They were just metal wire squares. I don't even know what to call them. Baskets. These giant metal wire baskets. And they might still do it. I haven't been to Home Depot in years. And they had these knives there for $10 a piece. And I was like, well, this was $3. And this is a decent knife, you know, at the time. This was a decent knife. Oh, that sound it makes. Oh my god. It's really cringy. Anyways. And they had Coast knives. And they had these knives sitting in there for $10 a piece. Now, this is not the knife that I had, because I had since moved a couple times. I moved out of my parents on my own, and then I moved in with my wife. And since then, it just kind of got lost to time. Because I've been on this beater knife kick lately, I found this on eBay. They're about $20. You can still find this model. It's the DX 340. I'm actually looking into getting the 4-inch blade version of a Coast knife. The LX 39. I know it's 395. I just don't know if it's DX or LX. Excuse me. But I'm looking into getting that. It's about $30, $40. It's pretty cool. And even now, with knowing what I know about knives, this is not a bad knife for even $20 on Amazon, 20 bucks on eBay. I actually found this one from an eBay seller, brand new in the package still, for $12.99. Since then, they've gone up to like $14.99, $15.99. Even for that, it's not a bad knife. It's really not. For 20 bucks for just a throwaway beater knife, it's up there with Kershaw, I would say. It's 7CR. It's not 8CR, but it's a decent action. It has this double lock feature. It's not like the M16 from CRKT where you have to engage that to close the liner lock. It just, because you can close the liner lock without it, but it just locks the blade open, so you can't close it or close it as easily. I don't want to say it's like a permanent, it's not like a fixed blade by any means, but it's a pretty cool knife. You know, looking at it from what I look at now, it has these really nice grippy handles. I don't think it's G10. You know, it's an okay blade stock, dual thumb studs, you know, liner lock. It's fairly easy to open and close, skeletonized handles. Deep pocket clip. I remember I did find this right before me and my wife just moved in August, but I remember finding it in a box when we were moving, and I guess it got lost in the move or something. I don't really remember. I can't find it now, but it didn't have a pocket clip. It was all chipped up. The lock was broke, but I just, even having it now, it's a decent knife. It really is. For 20 bucks, I would say it's worth going out and grabbing one and checking it out. For a cheap knife to throw in your pocket where if it breaks, you don't really care about it, you know. Obviously, this one has a little bit more sentimental value to me, because when I bought it for $10 at Home Depot, I thought this was as high quality as it got. I was like, holy crap, $10, that's a lot for a pocket knife. It's decent quality for the $10. I remember it being decent quality, and even now it's decent quality. And I was like, holy crap, 10 bucks. You know, this is a grail knife compared to this. So I bought it, and I loved it, and I carried it for a long time. And it just got phased out because when I moved out on my own, I carried this until I moved out on my own. I moved out of my parents. You know, I had my own place. And I was looking into getting decent knives, and I thought, I was actually at that point realistically looking at buying Spydercos and Benchmades. And I just thought, wow, $100 for a pocket knife? That's just insane. So I was looking at the bird knives. And I want something big, the same size range, because these are roughly about the same size, you know, 3.5-inch blade, 3.5-inch blade is what I was looking at. And I found the Cara 2. And this knife probably has more pocket time than anything else I've ever owned. I've taken this across state lines. I've taken this on so many trips. It's lightweight. It's heavy duty. I mean, if I had to choose one pocket knife that I could repeatedly buy if it broke, I would probably buy this one. This one. It just, I don't know. I just like it. I don't mind the 8CR 13 MOV steel. As you can see, there's some tarnish on the blade and stuff. It has no rusting as of yet, but I've gotten sand in this thing, and it still goes. It's just, it's a really good knife. For, I don't know what they go for now, but when I bought it, it was $19.72 on eBay. Because at that time, I really didn't use Amazon. I used eBay for most things. And I've been going back to eBay lately, actually, for my Glock 36 that I bought. I got a custom holster off a guy. I want to check out the holster before I say anything about him. But it's supposed to be here today or tomorrow. I think it's going to be here tomorrow by how wonderful USPS is. But this is kind of my evolution in pocket knives, guys. And then after this, the actual real Spyder, not that this isn't a real Spyderco, but the real branded Spyderco I got was a Manix 2 lightweight, then a Delica, and then my dream knife at the time was a PM2, and I bought the PM2 in Digicam that you guys see. But this knife, even with all those expensive ones, when I would go on a trip or something, this would go with me. When I would go hunting, this would go with me. When I would go somewhere where I could lose a knife, this would go with me, because if I lost it, it was cheap. And then I eventually stopped carrying it for that reason, because of the sentimental value, and I don't know, I have a real attachment to this knife. They've come out with some new colors and stuff. I want to get the blue one. I want to get the orange one. It's just a real sentimental knife to me. And since then, you know, like I said, I've gotten Spydercos, Benchmade, CRKTs, big fan of Kershaw. But because I'm getting more into the budget realm, I'm not going to carry this, but I've been carrying this lately. The 4 knives that I'm going to show you, I'm going to put these off to the side. These, well, this one included. These 4 knives are the ones I've been carrying the most lately, which is the Coast, the Mini Plague Doctor, as you guys saw in my EDC update, the Buck Iceman, which is probably my favorite out of these, and I haven't carried it lately, but the Griptilian. But I'm going to put a picture on my Instagram. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I'm going to try and put links in the description. I'm going to try For as young as I am, I have a really hard time with technology, so I'm going to try and figure out how to do the link thing. I did a Twitch live stream the other day. I had no views on it. That's okay. It sounds so discouraged. It is what it is. I'm still getting used to the whole YouTube thing, and I'd really like to do YouTube live, but I don't have anywhere near 1,000 subscribers. I'm happy for the 143 that I have. I've come a very long way. And I've been getting just as much negative feedback as I've been getting positive, and I'm happy for that. I'm glad I'm getting negative feedback, because that way I can grow and stuff. And a big thing with my channel is I like to sit here and rant. Some people don't like it. It is what it is. Like, this video is just talking. I'm just talking the whole time, sharing my opinions on my journey with pocket knives and how much pocket knives mean to me and all that. And, you know, sit here and listen to me talk, or you don't have to. But I don't really carry the grip much lately, just because, I don't know, I really been liking, as I drop it, I've really been liking the Buck Iceman a lot. I really like it. It opens and closes really smoothly. Doesn't have any blade play. It has a little bit, but it's nothing that, like, I wouldn't mind carrying the knife for. I like the blade shape a lot. Serrations are nice. I like that clip point on it. It's just a really, really cool knife. It's a all metal frame with these rubber inserts. I really like it. It's smooth. It's very smooth. It's a very smooth, contoured knife. It just feels really, really good in the hand. I keep dropping everything today. But these are the 4 knives that I've mainly been carrying. But it's just kind of an evolution video in my history and going with pocket knives. I've kind of briefly touched on it in my collection videos, but I actually want to sit down and talk about it, and maybe, you know, and I know it's a lot of talking, and I'm sitting here ranting, going on and on, which some people don't like, and that's okay. You don't have to watch my videos. But just in case someone is carrying one of these and thinks this is a really good knife, for $3, I bought this. Even something like this, spend $17, $18 more, and it's a phenomenally better knife. You don't have to go spend, what are these, 120, 130? These are 70. I mean, you don't have to go out and spend that kind of money. You can go spend $12.99 or $19.99 at Tractor Supply and get some pretty decent knives. You don't have to go all out, you know, but something like this, I would, and you might say the same thing about this or something being cheaper. But I would consider this almost dangerous to carry. I've never had a break on me. I've never had an issue with it. But I would consider this almost dangerous to carry, because I've used the Coast knife pretty hard. I've used, you know, the Iceman a little bit harder. The Bird knife has been through hell and back with me. I mean, I've pried, I've done things. I can't believe it still has the tip. It's never been reground. You know, I've sharpened it 1,000 times. That's why the edge might be a little bit thinner. But, this knife has been through hell and back, and my point is, these cheap, no-name frost cutlery knives that are $3, $5, $10, you know, I really doubt you'd find them for $10. You might nowadays, I don't know. When I bought it, it was $3, and these I would consider just dangerous. There's so much flex in them that it just, I mean, you can see it moving, almost. You can physically see it wiggling. These I considered very dangerous to use. These are more novelty. I wouldn't use them for actually, and if you do carry one, and I did forget to mention, in between this and the Coast, I was carrying a lot of Tac Force, but I really didn't like them, because, again, they're spring-assisted. I don't like spring-assist knives. Again, they're dangerous. They would fall apart really easily. I know I see people in my groups all the time carry Tac Force. If that's what works for you, that's what works for you. If that's what you can afford, that's what you can afford. I don't like to bash people's gear. I seem to be getting a lot of that lately. A lot of people don't like my stuff. That's fine. You don't have to like it. To me, it's what I carry. You know, I don't tell you what you can carry, so don't tell me what I can carry. But I really would recommend not using the Tac Force knives. Spend an extra $10. Because to me, if you're spending $10 a knife, you can spend an extra $10 to get a Bird or even a decent Kershaw. There are some really decent Kershaws. The Kershaw Thermite is a phenomenal knife. This is a phenomenal knife, the Buck Iceman. Can't find them on Amazon for whatever reason, because I think they're an older model. eBay, you can get these for $30. This is easily a $30 knife. The Tractor Supply in my area in northeastern Pennsylvania sells them for $19.99. I mean, seriously. Spend an extra $10. Don't use this junk. It's almost like an informational video. Don't use these kind of knives, because you're going to end up hurting yourself or someone else, because regardless of how much you want to bash this knife, how much you want to say this is junk and it's going to fall apart, because it is and it will, you could still kill somebody with this. You know, it's still a dangerous item. And because it's so cheaply made, it does have an edge on it. Regardless of how sharp it is sharp. It will cut. You can severely injure yourself or somebody else with it if mishandled. And with this kind of cheap material, very cheap material, you know, again, this was a $10 knife, and it's built just as good as that bird knife, I would say. I've put both knives through hell and back. Not this one particularly, but the same model. I really would recommend not carrying these kind of sub $10 knives. These Frost Cutlery Tac Force, I wouldn't recommend it. Get something Coast, you know, even go out and get some of the, they're usually not very good, but like the tool branded knives, like the Milwaukee knives have actually been fairly okay. You go to a hardware store, the Milwaukee knives, Cobalt knives, stuff like that, Sheffield knives. They're not that bad. They're better than this. They're not going to break on you and hurt you. Like that dollar store thing I did. That Dollar Tree knife physically shattered in my hands while I was trying to open a box. I didn't get cut from it, but it could have ended pretty bad because regardless of how dull it is, it's still sharp enough to cut you. Skin is a lot softer. So anyways, guys, I'm going to end the rant there. I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit of a PSA. I know this video is going on 16 minutes, but, you know, it is what it is. Stay bladed, stay pewed, wash your hands, stay home, guys. Stay safe.